That's great when you have friends and your kids are around the same age
And they get along.
Yeah. For
super
me,
cute.
like most of my friends, the kids are older. Welcome to Mama's Playground. This is Darlene.
And this is Monica.
Hey, Monica. So this is our first episode back. We just had a 2-week break. First, we had my favorite, which was the one that we were talking about, the types of moms. And then we had yours, which was
Oh my God, the communication
the communication.
with your partners.
Yeah. How's that going?
Oh yeah, it's always a work in progress. But
I
yeah,
listened to it again and I'm like, oh, I feel like I need to listen to that episode. Like,
yes,
every other month and remember.
yes.
We're being like doctors, like we give advice and then sometimes we forget to follow it.
Absolutely, I'm guilty as charged. Guilty as
I
charged.
know, it happens. So finally, we're back. How was the summer? How you been everywhere?
It was. No, I wish I was everywhere. Summer was good. We left to our biggest trip, which wasn't a huge trip, but it was our week away. Was in Chicago with a good friend of mine that she lives over there, and she's got 2 small kids. So we went to go visit her, and the boys had a great time. She's got the same age kids as mine, and they're both boys. So they just bonded completely. This, when they were there the whole week, it was nice to see them playing and
That's great.
loving on each other. It was just, it was great.
Because they're usually here in Florida, they're usually surrounded more
Just
with girls. So that was good.
No, I mean, they have not about the girls or the boy thing. It's just a matter of like having all the boys together of the same
Yeah.
exact age. 'Cause,
Oh, that's perfect.
Both Noah and her, this is a really good friend of mine. I can say she's like a sister of mine.
And she used to live here, and when she moved, you're like, no.
That's what I told her. It's like, why did you leave? Because we have 2 boys. We never thought we were going to have 2 boys the same exact. This was not planned at all. And we've been friends since we were in elementary. So having, she has Parker, which is her smallest, and then I have
Oh,
Noah.
I love that name.
And they're 3 weeks apart, and they're both 3 years old. And then I have Jacob, and she's got Grayson, and they're about 5 to 6 months apart. And they're both, Grayson just turned 6, and Jacob is 5. He's going to be turning 6 in December. So they're very much in that same age range, which was nice. And they played. They had a great time.
That's
It
great.
was nice to see it. Yeah.
That's great when you have friends and your kids are around the same age
And they get along.
Yeah. For
super
me,
cute.
like most of my friends, the kids are older. But now I'm meeting like all these moms and the dads and my husband, and we're bonding, and it's super cool.
It's
I like
nice.
it, getting to know like new people, and Luna already has like her besties and all that. And talking about that, she's okay. So it's back to school. We're going through the orientation stages and all that, and I'm going through this drama. Like, I don't know to how many moms this happens to, but when your kid's bestie and then they go to school together and then they send you pictures from school and they're like always together and hanging out, and she comes back and it's all about Rian. That's his name, Rian. And now in school, they separated them. They're not going to be in the same class, and this is their last year. It's VPK. So I've been like really sad. My husband laughs. He's like, come on, really? And
No,
I'm like,
and
no, it makes me sad because she's sad.
But you know what's going to happen? They're going through their emotions. They're little.
Yeah.
So I figure that by the time that she's actually in class, she's going to meet another little friend. And she's like, oh, mommy, this is my best friend now. Not that she's not going to like Rian anymore, but it's going to be her
I
best
was
friend.
like, you know what? Nobody's going to separate your friend. Nobody's going to kill this friendship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been a little bit upset because I did talk to the school director, and I did, and some other parents did. We were just trying to keep a couple of the kids together, and it's just, I don't know. To be honest, it's, let me not talk much about her. I don't know if she listens to the show. But I just think that they should, being that it's the last year, and they're going to graduate VPK next year and then go to kinder, and that's where they go to different schools. They could have kept them together, but whatever.
But it's good. It takes her out of her comfort zone. So it builds, I think here we go of building confident kids, right?
Yes.
Which is what we want to speak about today. So I think that is actually going to build a little bit of, stronger character for her, because now she's going into a setting where she's not so familiar maybe with the kids that are going to be there. So it's going to...
With some, yeah.
But it's not like her best friend is not there.
Well, yeah, it's like a group of like 4 or 5 kids, and they all love each other, and so some of them were separated. I mean, it's the first time that I go through this, and I'm probably being over dramatic. Actually, but you did go through this before summer. You're like, oh wait, I was making fun of you, Darlene, and the same thing happened to me with Jacob.
Yeah, because you know your kid.
Yeah.
Like, so for me, Jacob, which is my eldest, he is more... I want to say there's always a difference between the first and the second kid. And typically with the people that I've spoken to that have 2 kids, they can always usually say that the first kid tends to be a little bit more shy, a little bit more, not reserved, but like a little bit more, I don't know if it's shy. I don't know if shy is the word that I'm trying to grasp on, but not so crazy like the second one. You see, because Noah's more outgoing. He'll say hi to everybody. He shows his confidence, where Jacob shows his confidence when he's doing something that people kind of like reward him on, it's more of a reward thing for him. Like if he does, I don't know, he's coloring and he does a beautiful picture and somebody says, wow, that's beautiful. That builds his confidence.
Of course.
Where the other one is just, he walks into a room and it's like, I'm Noah.
I'm here.
I don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, maybe, maybe it's not like that forever, but as of right now, my kids are different in that aspect, where I feel like Noah shows a confidence from the beginning, and then Jacob has to slowly get into confidence.
But that's more, I mean, not being the first or second kid, it's more personality traits.
But I've noticed that the bulk of the people, I would say, let's say I've spoken to 10 moms or, fathers included in there, and they have 2 kids. The bulk of them, I would say maybe a 10% that doesn't, says, you know what, my second kid is the kid that I just like, I don't need to, they're just crazy. They just go, they do their things, they're more confident. And then I think we've spoken about this before. I think it goes back to the thing of, with your second, you're maybe not as overprotective as you are with your first, So when I compare it, and I've, talking to other parents and they tell me the same thing, I'm like, I think it's that second kid that is, wasn't so overly protected, because now I think you as a parent knew a little bit more of what you were doing as well.
Yeah, and they learn by example. So they have an older sibling and they're going to learn, they're going to be potty trained, probably faster. Okay, I hit a nerve there with the potty train.
No, so let's go into this potty train. So this episode, the one that we want to talk about today, is actually building confident kids. Obviously, Darlene and I are no experts in this. We are just we're really like...
We're learning.
We are completely learning and trying to see what works, what doesn't work, with each individual kid, because everybody's different.
Yeah, which is the beautiful thing about doing this podcast, is that, we're doing research about what we want to talk about, things that interest us, things that will help us learn, and we want to pass that to you guys. But it's great because we're learning. Yeah, and we say we're not mental health experts yet. Who knows? Maybe after 10 years of doing the podcast, we're like, okay.
And we're definitely not expert parents. I don't think there's any expert parent out there. I think every kid is different, and everybody always wants to tell you how to do things. But again, your child, and you know that I can't do the same things I do with Jacob that I do with Noah, and vice versa, because it doesn't work. So in this particular case about the potty training, going back to that. So we are starting school, right? We're going to be starting school like in the next couple of days. And I took Noah for the first time to orientation because he's going for pre-K 3.
Oh my God. I feel like the word orientation and open house. Has been like everywhere.
Well,
a couple of days.
And for me, this is brand new. And for him, it's brand new. He's never been in school. And he's going to be going to school where his brother goes to school. But his brother is in kindergarten, so they're not in the same class. So anyways, long story, I take him to the orientation. And as we're sitting there, the teacher says, every kid needs to be, mind you, these kids are 3. Some of them just turned 3, like my son. He just turned 3. They need to be fully potty trained. Like they cannot come here in pull-ups. They cannot, they have to be in underwear. And no, you cannot bring diapers for them in their bag. So I'm like, oh crap. And it's not that my son's not potty trained, but I want to say he's like 70% potty trained. The 30%, I don't know what's going on with him. For some reason, and we caught this while we were in Chicago, and my friend pointed it out to me, and I didn't realize it. Like, he has to go to the bathroom to do number 2. And I'll have him in his underwear. And literally in Chicago, my friend has a 2-story house. And all of a sudden he ate breakfast. He was wearing his underwear and he just shot upstairs. Like he just ran upstairs. And I was like, And I said, I wonder what he's doing. Let me go check up on him. And as I go to find him, he was taking off his underwear, and he literally went into my bag and got a pull-up diaper, and he put the pull-up on, and he hid behind the bed, and he pooped in his pull-up.
So that's his comfort.
And I didn't notice, but you know what, my friend, she goes, I bet you anything he's pooping. And I was like, why do you say that? And it is. I've noticed now that she brought it to my attention because I wasn't even like, lately, for some reason, he has like backtracked on it. Like he feels comfortable pooping in his diaper. So I was like, oh shit, this professor
Literally,
is saying, for real, because school's starting. And I'm like, how am I going to get him to a point where he says, Mommy, I'm going to go to the bath. Like number 2, like, how do I do it? So lo and behold, I spoke to the teacher. She said, let's see, maybe when he sees the other kids doing it, it's going to be easier for him. And there's not going to be any comfort zone of the diapers. So we go back to the confident kid thing.
And you have to get rid of all the diapers at home at your parents.
Yeah. I just told, I told my mom, and now I got to tell my mother-in-law, like, that's it. No more diapers at all, because there's something in him that's like, oh, I love pooping in my diaper.
I wonder, there's got to be so many parents that are going through this right now, the pressure of like school starting. And a lot of schools you need them to be potty trained.
And the reason why we're bringing this up is because now, since we want to talk about raising confident kids, like I want him, I know it sounds so like it's pooping and he'll eventually get it. I get it. But I want him to feel confident pooping in the bathroom.
It'll happen. And then it'll never stop.
Oh my, yeah. Hopefully he's like, Mommy, I need to go poo. And he'll say, I need to go pee. I need to go pee. But he won't tell me he needs to go poo. So anyways, that being said, orientation, the worry of is he going to feel confident being left on his own? His brother's not there. And I know he'll get it. And I know time will pass. But as a mom, you worry.
Yeah.
Like,
it'll be good.
Gonna be okay.
He'll be good. He's super sociable. He's very, I see him as a kid that he'll go with the flow, and he'll adapt.
He did. And he didn't even, we went to orientation. They had his little name on the desk that said like Noah and like his name. And I was like, look, this is your chair. And he was like, oh, and Petey's chair, which is his brother. And I was like, no, he's not in your class. Why? And I go, because these are going to be your new friends.
Yes.
So
he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. Yeah. So it's important to raise confident kids. And there's a couple of tips on how to do it. But before that, I wanted to go because you sent me this about the 4 types of parenting.
The 4 styles.
The 4 styles.
Styles of parenting.
Yes. And one of them, it's the one that research shows that, it allows you to build. Yeah, to build like more confidence in your kids and all that. So we're going to go briefly over them. And there is an example that was in the article. It was a CNBC article. So I'm going to read.
I say we talk about the 4 and then bring up that example. Like we say the 4, like what they are.
Perfect.
And then bring up the example. Like I had it here. It's a little chart actually. It's like a 4. Like if you research it online, you'll be able to see this, the 4 parenting styles, right?
And that 2 of them I can't even pronounce. I gotta be honest.
I'm gonna try to pronounce it, but if I pronounce it wrong, I hope nobody says anything.
Okay.
I say we start with the first one, which is basically like the permissive parent, right? And basically the bullet points that it has, it's like child driven, rarely gives or enforces rules, overindulges child to avoid conflict. So like if there's a conflict, like no, like steer away from that, always protecting them, just letting them do whatever they want, never really, putting boundaries.
No rules.
No rules. Yeah. And also taking them away from when there's an issue, like they're bullying you or whatever, like don't confront it. Let's find something else to do versus being confident in your own like skin and being able to I guess, I don't know if the right word is defend yourself, but be able to like stand your ground or whatever,
So what would be another example of a say it.
Permissive?
Permissive.
I mean,
maybe Mom, I want to watch TV before doing homework. Okay, do it as long as you do the homework. Like, would that be a good example?
I don't know. I guess I mean, it says overindulges child. Well, hold on a second. That was overindulges child to avoid conflict, rarely gives or enforces rules. So I guess,
yeah.
I guess
So
it's like free for all. You do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's not
Explore.
happening in my house.
Yeah. Yeah, in my house
No.
either. I do set boundaries in my house. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I wouldn't say I'm in the permissive. And then the second one is neglectful. Like you're uninvolved, you're absent, provides little nurturance or guidance, indifferent to child's social, emotional, and behavioral needs. So, I mean, it's basically like, whatever, you're crying, doesn't matter.
It's a little bit similar to the first one.
I guess they do fall in the same spectrum. So yeah, it goes permissive and then it goes neglectful, which
Yeah.
is like if you ever, research the styles, it's basically like on the left side of like a chart,
Could, let's say, like parents that are workaholics or that they travel a lot, not because they want, but not by choice, but because of, they need to. Could that in a way fall there in that category where the kid wants attention and wants to play and all that? And
I could see that happening, and not purposely. I think
Yeah.
it just becomes, the parent. There's parents that are just, that's their nature or
Yeah.
whatever. And then there's people that unfortunately are not there all the time for their kids. So I guess it does fall somewhat in the spectrum, but it's not purposely,
And I'm thinking about grandparents too. Like I know I have friends whose grandparents are like, don't be dropping your kids off here. I'm not gonna take care of them.
Yeah.
That's your job. And then there's like my dad that's like gives her all the candy that she wants.
Oh yeah, he is the cool grandpa. Of course, I want to go see him as well.
But yeah, it's crazy how there's grandparents that are like, yeah, they're more, I already raised my kids. I don't
want to deal with
Yeah.
it. I don't want to deal
Thank
with it.
God.
It's your problem,
Yeah.
And then on the right side of this, okay, so it starts with the one. So the other one, and I'm going to pronounce this, and now that Darlene said that, like I feel I'm going to pronounce it wrong myself, but it's the authoritative parenting style, which basically solves problems together with the child.
Okay.
You set clear rules and expectations, okay, and you have open communication and natural consequences.
What do you mean by natural consequences?
So you're open, natural, like, if you choose to do something and you talk to your child, this is what I'm getting from this. Like you tell, I don't know, Luna, like, listen, Luna, if you do this is going to happen. And and you leave it to her
yeah.
and you've put it como like, decir, una bandeja. You told her, look, if you do this, you have this outcome or you have this outcome. And she chooses to choose the outcome that's going to give her a negative one. It's like, basically that's a natural consequence
Okay.
because but you're giving her, you're guiding her, but you're also allowing her to make the decision, And it's
then if you get cut, if you get burned, you know what? Now you know not to do it again.
correct. And I think, back in the day, I think we were talking about this. Like, I think, at least in the generation that when I was growing up, I don't know if it's a Hispanic thing or if it's something just in general, but most parents, like still to this day, like my dad might even come out, or even my brother-in-law might come out and say, what do you mean you're talking to them and giving them options? Like, no, like they do what you need to do. Right. And that falls more in the one that's underneath, which is authority. Okay, I'm going to say this, but don't quote me.
That you said, like, it has to happen the way you as a parent want.
Say.
Like you put the ground rules. Yeah.
Yeah, like if your kid didn't have a personality and your kid didn't have emotions and feelings, like it is what you say, what you want, when you want, you know what I mean? Like, or
Yeah.
and that's more authoritarian, like
Okay.
authoritative,
Yeah.
I guess, parenting style. And basically, it's parent driven. Set strict rules and punishment. So you're always like, you're gonna get punished if you do this, punished if you do that. One-way communication with little consideration of child's social, emotional, and behavioral needs.
Okay.
Okay, so that's more the authoritarian. And
Luna falls in that one, not me. Luna
Does she?
keeps saying, Mom, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you when I do something that maybe I'm doing it. and I
maybe
don't
you're
realize.
doing it
Yeah.
and she's repeating it. And I have,
Yeah, but
I'm guilty.
I haven't. Have you punished your kids?
I have given them time out. So I give them a
Okay.
timeout where I give them, let's say, like Noah, I'll give him 5 minutes of timeout with, like, if he wants something and he throws his temper tantrum or whatever, I'll be like, okay, you have 5 minutes of timeout. I turn off the TV, I put it, and I keep him in silence. And if he throws and he's
And
throwing
does
his
he have
temper
to be
tantrum,
sitting in one place, or is he allowed to?
no, I just, well, I've had him at one point when he's really done something that he shouldn't. Like one time and I don't think I punished him for this, but I'll give you an example of how my child is. Like, he hid himself inside of the washer and dryer,
What?
and like my mom was the one that was there. So I think if I would have been there, I probably would have, like, because of trying to teach him, like that you don't do that or whatever, and out of fear too, that something would happen to him, I probably would have told him, you're in timeout, you don't do that, like you don't move from here, think about what you did.
That's funny.
But
Going into the
But yeah, he did. He went into the front load of the dryer.
So you know how he's gonna learn not to do it again? Turn
How?
that dryer on.
No.
I'm kidding. I am kidding.
They're gonna call child services on me.
I'm kidding.
But yeah,
Or me for mentioning it.
yeah, they're like knocking on our door already. But yeah, those are the 4 different styles of parenting. And the one that obviously we want to strive for, and I say this, strive for, because research, us looking into it, because we do have small kids and we're trying to build confident kids, the bulk of the research and doctors and psychologists and so on say that what you want to strive for is the authoritative one.
Perfect. I mean, yay, I made it.
Authoritative.
I think, yeah.
I'm there, but I'm not fully there. I have my moments where I could go into authoritarian because I have to just lay down the law because they're doing something and they're not listening. But I do try to talk to my kids a lot, and I do try to give them the options, you know?
And sit down with them and explain, this is what you did wrong and this is why. And
Yeah.
and just like talk to them the way that they can really understand you.
Correct.
Sit down and say, look, mamita, you shouldn't have done this because look what happened. This was the consequence of your actions. And, I remember my mom when Luna was a baby, I would talk to her like I'm talking to you. And she'd be like, oh, that she doesn't understand. It's like, you know what?
They do.
They do.
They do.
They do understand. And even if you're using big words, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? Mom, I don't understand that word. Then explain to her what that word means.
Oh my God, I'm going to tell you a funny story that has nothing to do with, guiding your kid in a confident manner. But it's funny because you say about talking to your kid in an adult manner.
Yeah.
So the other day, Jacob saw this lady that was pregnant, like where we go to eat breakfast. He's like, Mommy, what does she have in her?
Sergio's.
In
Goes there,
Sergio's.
I think every single day. If you want to meet Monica, go to Sergio.
No, Sergio's like for the coffee, 305, guys.
Oh my God.
But I mean, he sees whatever. So I tell him, like, yeah, she's pregnant. She's got a baby in her belly, right? So then he goes to me in the car when we got into the car and Noah's there. He goes, Mommy, so the baby comes out of the belly? And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this thing of how my parents used to kind of like.
Well, mine did.
Well, of course. And so did I. That they
Call a C-section, baby.
well, but would they tell you, like, they don't want to tell you, like, back in the day, they wouldn't really want to get it at that age, like, tell you really how it happens. I said, no, baby. I go, the baby comes out of your vagina. And I said vagina, right?
And did he go, do I have a vagina?
No, he looks and he goes, Mommy, what? He opened up his eyes really big and he grabbed his face. He goes, I came out of your chochito. And I go to him, yes, baby. Yes, you did. And he goes, what? And he like covered his face. He's turning 6, but he's very smart and he knows.
Oh my God.
And then Noah and him started cracking up. And he goes, Noah and me came out of there. I said, yes, you did. That's why you're always going to be mommy's. Mommy did everything possible to put you in this world.
And went through, and that was very painful.
Yes. And so anyways, long story short, that has nothing to do with it. But yes, I do talk to them as adults. But I say it in a kid-like manner, obviously, kind of suavizando a little bit, and it's funny because he understood.
That is.
He understood.
I wonder if now, oh my God, like for example, next time I see Jacob, is he gonna look at me and be like, Luna came out of Darlene's chochito?
Chochito. Yeah, listen.
Great.
He gets it. He gets it. And I think Noah got it too, but not as much as Jacob, because Jacob stayed and he blushed and everything and he covered his face.
Wow.
And then he started laughing.
Yeah.
But
and then
anyways.
if he asks me, I'll be like, okay, there's another way.
Yeah.
And Luna came out a different way.
2 ways.
Yes. So let's do the examples of
Yes.
the 4 different types of parenting or methods.
Yeah. Actually, bring up the example that we had seen.
Yeah, so this
4.
one, it's about, okay, so let's say that your 10-year-old son begs, like, they don't want to go to soccer. I don't want to go because I don't think that I'm good at it. So these are the ways that these 4 types of parenting styles. Whatever, will respond. So let's start with the first one.
Do you have a permissive parent might say, it's up to you?
It's up to you, like if you want to go or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I could see.
I'm like, I'm paying for this. I'm also waking up early on Saturday, so you better get your ass
So
up.
now you're the authoritarian there.
That's where I become like, no, I'm paying for this. You said you wanted to do it. It's Saturday. I don't want to wake up early. I'm doing it because you said you want to do it, and you're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's not by mood. It's by compromise.
Correct.
Amen.
And a neglectful parent.
Might say
I leave that one to you.
whatever you want. It's your life.
Oh my God, no! I don't see myself saying that to my
Hell
5-year-old,
no.
6-year-old, 3-year-old,
20-year-old.
Yeah.
30-year-old. No.
No. And then, okay, so I'm going to say this one again. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but an authoritarian parent might say, you have to, I don't want to hear another word from you. So this is where I go that in that particular case is more authoritative, I guess, style.
I'm like, you're going, and there's no if, maybe not, you're going.
So I'm trying to get to the point where I'm constantly the authoritative, which is the other style, not authoritarian, the authoritative parent, because that one in particular, well, you read it. Read what they might say in a situation like that.
I understand that you don't want to go, but sometimes fighting the urge to avoid doing something hard is how you get better. Okay, you have to be like very patient to sit down and say it like that.
Yeah.
Because,
I feel like in my own thing, I've been doing that. Like, for instance, before we got here, Noah wanted to go into the garage because his dad put like a little TV out there where they play video games. So he wanted to play video games. And I was like, no, you need to go inside because your grandparents are not going to sit outside in the heat in the garage and you can't be here by yourself. So he started throwing a temper tantrum. And then my mom was like, Vamo, you need to go inside. Come on, you need to come inside. You need to come inside. And I sat him, and as he was throwing his temper tantrum, I said, I'm not going to lose my cool. Mm-hmm. Noah, I know you want to play video games, and you will. I'll give you 15 minutes when Papi gets home. Mm-hmm. But right now, I need you to go inside and listen to your grandparents. And I promise you, if you behave good, we will do it. You will have that chance to play. So I was being at that point, and I think it's because I read this article. I'm telling you, I think it's because I have been researching this. So I said, I'm trying to like implement a little bit more of that style where you're not, I kind of feel it's kind of a balanced style, to be honest with you. You're communicating, but you're also setting boundaries and you're allowing them to make their decisions.
So we had some friends over at my house, and her name is Amaya, and she's such a great mom, and I admire her. And sometimes when we're together, like our daughters are friends and husbands, she'll say things and I go, oh wow, I need to learn from that. So for example, if Luna doesn't want to share her toy, I'll be like, Luna, you have to share your toy.
Yeah.
You wanted your friend to come over, so you have to share. So that was my approach. And then she goes to Luna and she sits with her and she goes, Luna, I understand. I know the feeling when you have something that you care about it so much, and you don't want somebody else to play with it. I understand what you're feeling. And I'm like, oh, okay. And Luna, she understood.
Yeah.
But she took the time to sit down, go down to their level, sit down with them and just kind of tell them I'm putting myself in your shoes and I understand.
You see, and I think
your feelings, and I'm trying to practice that because literally I'm like, oh,
but it works.
Shit. She did great.
I'm telling you, I did that today. I could have been like, I have to go. You need to get inside now. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, bring it down, and I'm going to talk to him. And you know what he did? He grabbed the control, he put it back where it was, and he went inside. And he stopped
Yeah.
crying. And I said, you know what? Maybe I just need to start implementing this more. I know sometimes it's not easy because we lose our cool.
Yeah,
And we're in a
of course.
hurry and so on. But I mean, I would love to be 80% that, that style and see, because I do see how it could build a confident child that you're letting them make a decision for themselves. You're putting it in their hands, but you're also talking and you're also giving them options. And he
Yeah.
took the option that I wanted him to take, which that sounds authoritarian. He did what I wanted to do. But I mean,
Yeah.
he basically went back inside and he went to go sit on the sofa with his grandma, which is what I
Wow.
wanted.
And if you would have been like screaming at him or something, then he would have started crying and
Correct.
become like a rebel. And I want to do this, mom. I want to do this, mom. But by talking to them in a different way, leveling up with them and telling them, I understand your feelings. I
Yeah.
know that you want to play at the gym where your dad has this. It's just telling them, I understand. It's just not right now. Maybe later.
And it's a balance. I feel like you're balancing it, and I feel it's such a nice way. I think the whole thing, when you see on social media, they talk about like gentle parenting, like this thing of gentle parenting. And then some people, I don't know if you've seen that or not, but
No, I haven't.
I research a lot of things of parenting, obviously because I'm in it, and I'm always like, how do I build my kids' confidence? Like, how do I build strong, men later, that feel confident and so on. They talk about gentle parenting. And everything is like soft. And then some people are making fun of it. Oh, come on, you tell your kid what you need to do. I feel like this style is that balance of, you're putting your rules, you're putting some boundary, but you're also giving
the
your
ground
kid
rules.
the to explore and make that decision and build the confidence to pick the right decision for them, And if they don't pick the right decision and there's a consequence, then they have to deal with that consequence, and they learn on their own which way to to do stuff. So I think it's it's something worth doing.
There was the list that you had to do like with different examples of how you can help your.
Oh yeah, I had seen this article. Again, it's like, doing this podcast is allowing us to research a lot of stuff and see stuff for ourselves. It's really helping us and whoever
And
else is
hopefully,
listening. Other people.
our listeners as well.
Who's listening, yeah. This was actually hold on. Oh,
You had it.
I did have it. Oh no, wait, this is the one of the authoritative parenting. Hold on.
I think you sent it to me. Let's go over this.
I did.
It's been a crazy week.
Oh, here it is. I found it. So 12 tips for raising confident kids. And this is from the Child Mind Institute. Again, we're not going to read everything about the 12 tips, but we're just going to briefly go through it. So number one, they talk about model confidence yourself. And I think that's a big, big factor because it starts at home.
Yeah.
So if we're not confident in ourselves, and I'm sure there's days that we don't feel so confident, we have to be careful what we say in front of our kids because they're mimicking all these things.
Especially for me, like that, I have a little girl. It's, I don't want to be like, looking at myself in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I feel so fat today, or this or that.
I feel so stupid for doing this.
My hair is so ugly, because then they're going to listen and they're going to eventually repeat it.
Yeah.
Or look at themselves in the mirror. Oh my God, maybe I'm the same. Maybe my hair is looking ugly too, like mama's.
And confidence is both things, because confidence goes into physical, but confidence also is how you feel inside, how you come into a room, how you talk to people, stuff like that. Although they're little right now, I think obviously it's definitely important to build their confidence.
How do you feel about, I met a mom one time that she reads like these mantras to her daughter, I think like on a daily basis, like, I am precious, I am beautiful, I can do everything that I want to do. And I remember telling this story to another mom, and she's like, that's not good. And
Why?
She just said, oh, that's not good because you're putting too much in. When she gets disappointed, then how is she going to deal with that? Because she thinks like she's the best, that she can do everything. What happens when she fails at something? So, and I stayed thinking like, So one of the things that I saw on this list is like, we got to also teach them it's okay to fail.
Which is basically number 2. It says,
yeah.
don't
Oh,
get
that's
upset
okay.
about mistakes. That's exactly what it is. And it's like, it help
Yeah.
kids see that everyone makes mistakes. And the important thing is to learn from them, not dwell on them. And I try to do that. Like, for instance, my eldest, he's more of a perfectionist. So
yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
big perfectionist. So actually, and Noah has been getting, to
He's
a point.
like my eldest.
Yeah.
Which is my husband.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Are they the same sign? But yes, he's a perfectionist, and sometimes he wants to do things, and he gets so frustrated when it doesn't go his way, or he doesn't do something correct. And I'm like, baby, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody does. You're gonna make a million mistakes in your life.
You're going to have a D on a test.
Yes, you're gonna
It's gonna
disappoint
happen.
someone. One day
Yeah.
you're gonna say something, somebody's not gonna like you, or you know what? You're gonna do a race and you're gonna not win the race. Somebody else is gonna win, and it's okay.
It's fine.
And you keep trying, though. Don't give up. You keep trying till you get to where
Yeah.
you need to be, which is
It's-
perseverance.
It's knowing how, okay, this is where I failed and this is where I need to work more on. And, knowing how to like get back on track.
Absolutely.
Like if you're at a race also, if you fall, it's like, don't give up. It's like, get up, go.
Be consistent.
Yeah, go.
And you know what? This list, sometimes I'm like, oh, that's false for me. I need to be consistent. It's okay if I make a mistake. It's okay if I do this, but you got to keep trying.
Yeah.
And then you have the number 3. I guess.
Encourage them to try new things.
Well, there we go. Luna's going to be trying something new.
Oh, exactly.
New school
new
year.
things, like, okay, you were doing dance, now do this, now do that. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job at that because at 4, she's done a lot of things.
Yeah, and I also mean it too in the sense of what you said previously of that now she's starting class and her
Yeah,
little friend
no
Marianne's
friends,
not there. New friends, new atmospheres. And you know what? They're so much more resilient than what we think.
Yeah.
So much more.
I
We
think
worry.
it's more us, the moms.
Yeah.
Okay, Yoko, my
Yeah.
friend Yoko, Ria's mom, we've been like texting like, oh my God, they're not in the same room. But no,
It's you girls.
I cried and everything. Like I'm ridiculous. I cried. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to be hurt. And whatever. I sat down and I explained it to her and hopefully
she's gonna be fine.
They're going to be fine.
She's gonna be
they're
fine.
4. It's us. The 4th one.
Is allow kids to fail.
We that
We
kind
just
of
said
goes
that.
with
Yeah.
the second one.
Yeah. Oh, number 5, you praise perseverance.
Yeah. Even if they fail, it's like, oh, but you've been working on that project, or
You keep trying.
okay, let's, like yesterday I was trying to teach her the heart. She was doing a heart and I was teaching her the arrows. And yeah, it wasn't working at all. She couldn't do the arrows, but she kept trying. Still, she hasn't gotten it, but it was beautiful, like seeing her like keep trying and trying. And it's teaching her, like, you know what? And I had to leave. We had to stop doing that exercise. And I said, don't worry, Mama, tomorrow we'll do it again.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You keep doing, be consistent. And I did that, Jacob the other day goes to me, Mommy, buy me more. I want these markers when we were buying like some school supplies or whatever. He's like, buy me these markers. I said, listen, I just bought you markers when we were like 2 weekends ago and they're sitting there and you haven't used them. So I'm not going to buy you another set of markers. You have a bunch. And he goes to me, Mommy, but I don't like to draw. And I said, then why are you asking me? Like, he's so weird sometimes.
But he does.
He does like to
He
draw.
does.
But he's so like, because I told him I wasn't going to buy. He's like, well, I don't like to draw. And I said, okay. I said, I don't think that's the case. I go, but, I'm not going to buy you any more markers because you already have. And he goes to me, well, I don't know how to draw. And I said, yes, you do know how to draw. Actually, you draw beautiful. And he goes, you think I could be a good artist? I said, yes. And I go, and it comes with perseverance. You have to keep trying. He goes, but I don't know what to draw. And I said, look around the room. You want to paint Clifford, our dog? I don't know how to paint Clifford. I said, but you know how you'll learn? Trying. And you keep trying and trying till you learn. And then when you do it, you're going to go, wow, I did it. I go, you just can't give up.
Could you imagine being like that, Mom? Like, if you're going to be a good artist, probably not.
Oh my God. Well, he's 5.
You suck.
Dude. Like,
That's horrible. That painting is really, really bad.
And I'm sure there's parents that get paintings and they're like, it's so beautiful, But
Let's trash it. No, I can't trash it. Have you seen that movie Zootopia?
yeah.
The parents of the main character, that they're like, stay at what you're doing. Try not to dream. The only way you won't get disappointed is if you don't dream about anything bigger. Like don't try new things.
Be small. Basically,
was so
stay
bad.
small and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. So every time I watch this movie a lot of times, and every time that part comes, I'm like, Luna, don't listen to them. They're bad parents. That's not fair. And at the end, the baby bunny, that's what she had to do.
And she
taught the
persevered.
parents. She persevered.
And she persevered.
Zootopia. Oh, do you remember that scene with the sloth? The slow, when they're like at the DMV?
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, got off track. If you haven't seen that movie, you have to. I love
It's
that.
funny.
So the next one, help kids find their passion.
Yeah. For me, and I know Jacob loves to paint. He's very creative, so I try to push him in that. Noah loves soccer and basketball, so I try to push him on that side, And again, their passions today might not be their passions tomorrow,
Yeah.
but whatever it is right now,
Hey, it changes even in your 40s.
Oh my
What
God.
you were passionate about probably
changed.
10 years ago, yeah, it changed.
all the time.
It changes. So it's just being there for them. And if they come to you and they say, Mom, I know that I've been taking art classes. Now I want to try juggling.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You keep
It's
trying.
like, okay, let's do it. Well, but we can pay for both. Like you have to choose one because that also teaches them, money doesn't fall off the trees. Yeah. So you have to choose one or the other. We'll choose two, but you can be bouncing around at the same time. The next one.
Next one, set goals. So definitely set goals. And I think that goes for everybody. So again, we're learning as we go through this because
Yeah.
I also feel that goes for me as well. Like set goals and set attainable goals. Maybe you start with small goals with them. Maybe it's that, I don't know, they want to learn how to rollerblade. Well, set goals. Today, you rollerblade from here to the end of that wall. When you do that, now we do it a little bit bigger and we keep going bigger steps so
Yeah.
you can fully rollerblade or whatever their passion is, But set goals in that to build the confidence. And once they hit those goals, just like anybody, when I hit a certain goal that I've set out
Yeah.
for, I feel awesome and I feel great inside.
What do you do when you hit a goal?
I go get a drink and I say, yes, let's
Okay,
go
yeah.
celebrate.
I like.
So yeah.
All right. The next one, celebrate effort. Same thing.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go to Menchie's and have some ice cream. She loves Menchie's. Okay. Expect them to pitch in.
Yeah.
That one we practice a lot.
Me too.
And yeah, Fabian all the time when he's setting up, like we have a production, we have a video production company. So whenever we're, getting ready to go on set, she's been on a set with us and she's the one taking the water bottles to the talent and the crew.
And she feels useful.
Yeah. And she helps him, doing things obviously safe because it's a lot of equipment, nothing that could hurt her. Just doing the laundry, cooking. Like if we're gonna make pancakes, you throw the flour, and for us, it's a chore. For them, it's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also quality time. They
Yeah.
feel like, for instance, I make them like clean up. You have to clean up. I'm not cleaning up after you. And I do it because sometimes I feel like it's so much easier for us to just do it for them.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Sometimes I'm like, I'm already here. Let me just make her bed.
I do, but lately I have been like, no, you're gonna do it, and I'm not picking up unless you do it. And if you don't pick up, there's consequences.
Yeah.
I put the consequences out there, and you choose. You're gonna leave it there. Well, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're gonna pick up. This is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I have been implementing that in my house, and as small as they are, they get it. And again, they're going to school, and in school, the teacher's gonna tell them it's cleanup time. You know what I mean? You need to clean up. So if you can clean up in school, you can also clean up in my house.
And they feel good. It also builds their confidence. Like, oh, I'm helping mom and dad doing something. Like Luna's always like, Mom, I'm dad's assistant. Aww. She's always saying that. And do you want me to be your assistant today? I'm like, yeah, come on, let's do this. Let's do that. And her face, like she's so happy. Like, oh, I'm doing something.
Because she feels
I'm
useful.
Contributing. Yes.
She feels useful.
Yeah.
And especially when you give her that praise and you go, thank you so much for helping today. That to them is like, when I tell my kids, thank you, you did such a good job, both of their faces light up and they both get happy. So I'm like, it's just, you constantly have to
and it's something so simple. And at the same time, they're helping you. They're helping you do something. So,
yeah.
Okay, the next one, embrace imperfection.
Absolutely. I believe in that. You didn't do something perfect. That's okay. That's again with failures. You fail, it's okay. Try again. Keep doing it.
One day you're gonna have a great day when it's gonna work out. The next day it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm learning from this
Yeah.
for myself too. And set them up for success.
So it says here, challenges are good for kids, but they should also have opportunities where they can be sure to find success. Help your child get involved with activities that make him or her feel comfortable and confident enough to tackle a bigger challenge.
Yeah, because it's okay for them to fail at times, but not all the time. Like,
Yeah.
if you know they're really bad at something, don't
Like
push
their
them.
grades. Like now when they start getting into school that with their grades, it's like, okay, instead of like, I'm not good at math. It's not that you're not good at math. You got to keep, and set them up, and give them the tools to succeed, and help them out and so on. I mean, I know sometimes it's easier said than done because, it's a
Yeah.
lot of time, but it's doable.
I'm so scared of when that stage comes to homework and
Well, now I have kindergarten. Now this is real school. So I told him, you need to pay attention. Like you have to be on time at school. I have to be on time.
exactly. It's all us. You got to do your homework. We got to help them do the homework.
Help them,
You gotta
but not do it
study,
for them.
We got to help them study. Yeah.
But not do it for them. Like I want him to solve it on his own and then I'll correct it if it's wrong.
We can say, now we're going to be your assistant. You have to do this homework. We're here if you need us. We'll help you, but it's yours. So we
Absolutely.
can like play around with that.
Yeah.
And last but not least, what's the last one?
Show your love. And this is always. So every kid needs to be felt, that there's love in their life from their parents, not feel like, because they made a mistake or because they failed in something that they're not good enough, that their parents don't love them, like always show them love. And that's something I think that is like, I'll give you a little quick example.
Even when we're upset at them, it's like, baby, I love you. I love you.
Absolutely.
I'm upset. And even us, when I have arguments with my husband, he's always like, honey, we do it. I'm upset at this. I'm mad at this, da. I love you, but this is happening. And it's the same thing with them.
Absolutely. This happened. I'm going to give a little quick story before we wrap it up. We were buying school supplies, Office Depot, the whole potty training thing. And I ran out of the house with Benjamin to go do this. And I took the diaper bag without wipies. Okay. I forgot to take wipies. I didn't see it because we were like hauling ass, to
Yeah.
go get the supplies.
Yeah.
And as we're there, Benjamin goes, I think Noah did poop.
Okay.
So he took them to go change and he calls me from the bathroom. You did not bring the freaking wipies and so on. And
That happens so many times.
And he's like,
that happens. Yeah.
so I felt bad. So whatever. He took like half an hour in that bathroom. God only knows how he cleaned them and how he had to put back the pants that had poop on it because there was no change of clothes either in the bag.
Great. I feel like this episode has been all about Noah's poop.
Oh my God. One day he's going to listen back on this. I'm going to be like, no, listen to that episode.
We open talking about your poop. We close the episode talking about your poop.
But basically he comes back and I guess his dad was so frustrated he probably yelled at him or something like, why didn't you say anything? Da-da-da. So when he gets here, he was all sentimental. And I go to him, Noah, you have to start telling us when you have to poop, baby.
Yeah.
You can't keep doing this. And then he got all sad. His face got all red and he started crying, but sentimental, like really from the inside. And he goes, I don't know, mommy, I'm sorry. And I said to him, we still love you. Papi loves you. I love you. And he goes, you love me? And I said, I do. I adore you. But you need to let us know. Like, you need to come to us and say, hey, mom, dad, my teacher, whoever's with you, I need to go do this because you're a big boy now. So he turns to his dad because I guess, his dad probably yelled at him again in the bathroom or reprimanded him somehow. And he said, Daddy, you still love me? And that's the thing. Like, I felt so bad. And his dad gave him a huge hug and a kiss. He goes, absolutely. I love you from here to the end of the world.
Crazy how kids think that because of that you're going to stop loving them.
Correct. So it's like constantly reiterating, I
Wow.
love you. Whether you made
Yeah.
a mistake, whether you did something I didn't like, I love you.
Yeah, they need to hear that.
Yeah.
Probably even teenagers.
Everybody.
Yeah,
We all
everybody.
do. I need it sometimes.
We all need love. And one last thing that I wanted to say, talking about building confident kids, and we talk about this in so many episodes about how social media can affect how
Absolutely.
especially girls could feel about themselves. Like, oh, and again, us as adults as well. Like, oh, look what she's wearing. I love that dress. Look what she has. Look what this, that. And it's about teaching, also our kids, like, first of all, not everything that you see in social media, it's real. You're seeing, what people want you to see.
Yeah.
And it's just that confidence. Like, yeah, honey, like she has beautiful hair. You have beautiful hair too. Everybody's different. Like, embrace embrace what God gave you.
Everything, physically and internally.
And internally.
And
Yeah.
internally. So yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, she's better at art than me. And that's the part that, in school, I'm sure like they're going to be comparing themselves to other kids as far as, things that one kid's accomplishing that yours is not. And it's teaching them, but you're great at this other thing, or let's work hard so you can also do like this painting like that. And it's just...
And also not to, just saying that, but this is off topic, not off topic, but it's off topic in what we're talking about, the confidence. Like even if somebody else is better than them, let them also have that confidence to be able to say, you know what, I appreciate their work. That's actually very beautiful.
And I want to learn from you.
I want to learn from you.
Teach me how to do that. Yeah, exactly.
Anyways.
Okay.
I think we're done with our
no more poop talk.
with our confident training. Yes, and no more poop talk.
No more poop talk. So we will see you next week. And thank you for tuning in. We are on Instagram, mamas.playground. If you want to watch us, we are on YouTube, Mama's Playground Podcast. We're on Facebook. And check in with us. Let's connect.
Let us know what else you want to hear about, and we'd love to hear from you guys.
Ideas for shows and all that stuff. And if you have any other tips regarding, how to build confidence in your kids and ourselves, then hit us up.
Perfect. Yes.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.